Hey everyone, welcome back! Today we're diving into the world of Elden Ring Nightreign and talking about the 8 awesome Nightfarers you can pick from. Each one has their own unique abilities, stat scaling, and playstyle, so no matter who you choose, they're all totally capable of taking down the Night Lords. But let's be real, some classes just stand out more than others because of their crazy damage, handy utility, or game-changing skills that make them a blast to play and super valuable in any team setup. So, in this video, we're breaking down the best Nightreign classes and why they deserve a spot on your squad. Whether you're all about dealing massive damage or supporting your teammates with cool party buffs, there's something here for everyone. Stick around as we rank these Nightfarers based on how well they perform, how useful their skills are, and what makes each one unique. Trust me, after this, you'll know exactly who to pick for your next Nightreign run. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking characters in Elden Ring Nightreign. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Duchess and Guardian. Alright, let's talk about 2 characters in Nightreign that you might bump into and think, interesting choice. First up, the Duchess. Now, she's kind of like that one friend who's amazing, but only if you actually hang out and plan stuff together. No solo shenanigans allowed here. Her whole deal revolves around teamwork because her skill, Restage, literally repeats the damage dealt over the last few seconds. So if your teammates hit hard and you time it right, boom, you're melting enemy health bars like butter. But if your squad isn't on the same wavelength, well, you might as well be throwing daggers into the wind. The Duchess' passive Magnificent Poise is what makes her dance around the battlefield with style. She can dodge twice super fast, so she's perfect for those quick in and out plays, sneaking damage while avoiding a punch to the face. And don't even get me started on her ultimate finale. It cloaks your whole team in invisibility. Imagine reviving your fallen pals or sneaking off to heal without the baddies even noticing. Pure sneaky goodness. But remember, all this stealth and dance moves don't mean squat if your team isn't talking or coordinating. Now, switching gears to the Guardian. If the Duchess is the flashy, team-reliant ninja, the Guardian is the big, slow, reliable shield wall of the group. He's basically the walking definition of tank, wielding a massive halberd and shouting, "Come at me, bro!" His passive Steel Guard lets him soak up damage like a champ, and his Whirlwind skill helps clear out pesky groups of enemies. Plus, his ultimate Wings of Salvation revives allies nearby and slaps on a defensive buff. Talk about a knight in shining armor. Sounds solid, right? Well, here's the kicker. Despite all that tanky goodness, the Guardian is kind of like that one friend who shows up late to the party and doesn't bring snacks. He's slow, hits like a wet noodle. And frankly, other classes can tank just as well, but with way more style and damage. His skills shine in boss fights, sure, but outside of those one-on-one or small group scenarios, he's a bit of a snooze fest. But hey, don't let that discourage you. In Nightreign, no class is truly bad. Just some need a bit more love and mastery. If you grab the right relics and learn to play to your strengths, even the Guardian can be a beast. Still, if you want damage and flashy moves, Raider, Wilder, and Exeutor might steal the spotlight more often. So yeah, if you're all about that team synergy and tactical play, Duchess might be your girl. But if you want to just stand there like a rock, block everything, and look intimidating, Guardian's your guy, even if he's the slowest dance partner at the ball. Both have their moments, but in the fast-paced chaos of Nightreign, timing and team make all the difference. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Raider, Wilder, and Revenant. Alright, let's dive into some of the characters that keep Nightreign spicy, but without the usual, here's who you should pick snooze fest. We're talking about Raider, Wilder, and Revenant. 3 very different fighters, each with their own flair and quirks. So buckle up, we're going on a character tour with a little attitude. First up, Raider. This guy's basically the tankiest, most stubborn giant in the room. He's a colossal dude who loves to smash things with colossal weapons. Think great axes and great hammers that make you go, yikes, that's gonna hurt. What makes Raider stand out is his ability to interrupt bosses not once, but twice. Yeah, he's got 2 solid ways to throw a wrench in your enemy's plans, and he's the absolute king when it comes to breaking their stance. You know, that defensive posture bosses get all smug about? Raider just laughs at it. His Fighter's Resolve passive ability is kind of a cheeky mechanic. The more damage Raider takes, the harder his Retaliate skill hits back. Imagine taking a beating and then suddenly smashing your foe with a knockdown blow that sends them flying. That's Raider for you. Plus, when he uses Retaliate, he won't get knocked down himself, so he's not just tough, he's downright annoying to deal with. And then there's his ultimate move, Totem Stella. This one's especially handy if you're rolling with a party that includes a Recluse, Revenant, or Iron Eye. These guys can use the height advantage the totem creates to dish out some serious pain, so if you're all about teamwork, Raider's got your back. Now, let's talk about Wilder. If Raider is the big bruiser, Wilder is the all-rounder with a little more finesse. He's your classic balanced melee fighter who really shines with greatswords. And not just any greatswords, Wilder gets an exclusive alternate moveset with them, so you feel like you're wielding something truly unique. Wilder's Sixth Sense passive is pretty clutch. It actually prevents one deadly blow from taking you out completely, which basically means you get a second chance when you least expect it. Then there's his ultimate, Onslaught Strike, which can interrupt just about any boss attack once fully charged. That's huge, because boss fights are all about controlling their patterns. His Claw Shot skill is another cool gadget, giving him extra mobility to close the gap or just zip around the battlefield. And if you find the right relic, you can even upgrade it to deal fire damage, because who doesn't love a little fiery flare while slicing through enemies? Wilder is just solid, easy to learn, and effective. The kind of character that makes you feel like a pro even if you're still figuring things out. Finally, we've got Revenant. Now, Revenant is a whole different beast. She's the magic user of the group, summoning spirits to fight alongside her, which adds a whole layer of strategy to your combat. Her sacred seals aren't your average weapons. They're more like conduits for her supernatural powers. Revenant's downside, she has low health points and no natural focus points, regeneration. That means you have to be smart about when and how you use her abilities, because she's not built for taking hits or spamming skills non-stop. But if you manage to keep her spirits alive and gather enough Starlight Shards, which refill her focus points, she can grant temporary invincibility to allies with her ultimate Immortal March. And hey, she can even revive downed teammates, which makes her an absolute lifesaver during those clutch moments. So yeah, each of these characters brings something special to the table. Raider with his brute force and stance breaking, Wilder with his balance and mobility, and Revenant with her summoning and support magic. Depending on your playstyle, you could pick a bruiser, a versatile warrior, or a mystical spirit caller. Whatever your vibe, Nightreign's got you covered. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Exeutor and Recluse. Alright, let's get real for a moment. If you think dodging attacks and mashing buttons is enough, you're in for a rude awakening when you meet the Exeutor in Nightreign. This guy isn't just swinging swords around, he's practically a dance master with a cursed katana. The real magic here? The perfect block mechanic. Yeah, you heard me right, perfect block. Time it just right, and you not only take 0 damage, but you also get your stamina back, smack your enemy with some stance damage, and crack open your cursed sword a bit more. It's like the game rewarding you for being a total badass. Plus, since the Exeutor starts with an S scaling in Arcane and High Dexterity scaling, you can stack up those status effects like a pro, especially if you're dual-wielding 2 katanas with different nasty effects. Now, let's talk about his ultimate move, the aspect of the Crucible, Beast. When you pop this, the Exeutor goes full-on beast mode with a whole new set of moves that include wide swipes, earth-shaking slams, a terrifying roar, and even a divine slice through enemies with a holy blade. It's like turning your katana into Thor's hammer, but cooler because you look slick doing it. But fair warning, this class isn't for the faint of heart. You'll have to learn the rhythm of that cursed blade and nail those perfect blocks if you want to survive. Once you do though, you'll basically become a damage-absorbing nightmare for any enemy. Switching gears, the Recluse is basically Nightreign's version of a walking magical encyclopedia. Complex, powerful, and a little bit mysterious. She's not tied down to just one weapon type either, rocking both staves and sacred seals with flair. But the real brainbuster is her passive skill, Elemental Defense, combined with the Magic Cocktail skill. This isn't your average spellcasting. You absorb elements from enemies and allies after they get hit by magic, fire, holy, or lightning attacks, and those elements build into these colorful sigils. Collect 3 sigils, and boom! You unleash one of 14 different spells based on what combo of elemental residues you gathered. It's like a magical puzzle that you get to solve mid-battle. Her ultimate Soul Blood song adds another layer of tactical depth by marking enemies to let your allies heal health points and focus points when they hit marked foes. It's super clutch for team fights, but also kind of fragile because, like all spellcasters in Elden Ring, her health pool is on the squishy side. If you don't want to get one-shotted, keep your distance, learn those residue combos like the back of your hand, and use her overwhelming spell barrage to control the battlefield. Honestly, playing the Recluse feels like juggling flaming swords while riding a unicycle. A bit tricky, but once you master it, you're untouchable. The variety of spells you can cast keeps things fresh, and your team will thank you for turning enemies into ash from a safe distance. Just don't be that person who tries to face tank bosses without a plan. You'll learn the hard way how quickly her low health can turn your magical masterpiece into a fiery defeat. So yeah, whether you're slicing through enemies with precise, punishing counters as the Exeutor, or commanding a symphony of elemental chaos as the Recluse, Nightreign gives you two wildly different but insanely fun ways to dominate the game. Both demand skill and patience, but the payoff? Totally worth it. Which one fits your playstyle? The fearless melee blade master or the enigmatic spellcaster with a penchant for chaos? Let me know. The characters in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Iron Eye. Alright, imagine this. You're in the heat of an intense Nightreign raid, chaos everywhere, enemies closing in, and then there's Iron Eye just chilling at the backline, calm as a monk but deadly as a sniper. Now, I know what you're thinking. Low damage? Why even bother? But here's the kicker. Iron Eye is hands down the most reliable class in the game, and not because he's raining fire from the skies, but because of the crazy amount of utility and team support he brings. Iron Eye's main squeeze is his bow. Yeah, none of that crossbow or great bow nonsense, just a sleek, precise bow that lets him pick off enemies from a safe distance. And the real magic starts with his passive ability called Eagle Eye. This little gem increases item rarity for your entire squad, which basically means better loot for everyone. Who doesn't love that? Then there's his marking skill. When he tags an enemy, that bad boy becomes a walking target dummy, taking extra damage from your whole team. And when the mark breaks, bam! It explodes, dealing a massive burst of damage that feels like a brutal bleed effect. Now, here's a cool trick that Iron Eye players swear by. When he uses marking, he does this dash move that's packed with invincibility frames for almost the entire animation. In plain English, he's basically untouchable while dashing. It's like the game is giving him a get-out-of-jail-free card, letting him avoid damage while setting up his next deadly shot. Defensive and offensive at the same time? That's the kind of multitasking we all aspire to. And let's talk about the big showstopper, his ultimate single shot. This isn't just any high-damage move, Gemeissen. It fires a piercing arrow that travels through walls, terrain, and anything in between, tearing through enemies in a 5-meter radius around its path. It's so good, it can even interrupt boss attacks, which in Nightreign is like saying you just told the final boss to hold my beer. That kind of utility alone can swing the tide of battle. So yeah, Iron Eye might not be smashing damage numbers like some glass cannon classes, but he's the backbone of any solid team. He keeps everyone alive by safely reviving from a distance, boosts loot quality, buffs damage with his mark, and disrupts the toughest enemies with that ultimate. In short, he's the Swiss Army knife of Nightreign. Not flashy, but indispensable. If you want reliability over raw power, Iron Eye is your guy. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.